Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. Hey there, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. No, I have not bumped my head on the log. I am repping the San Francisco 49ers because I am a San Francisco native and I'm loyal to my team, do or die, no matter what. So, repping Joe Staley, number 74, offensive tackle, his entire career with the 49ers, just retired, great player. And you know what? The guys did a great job. They did a really, really good job. And in spite of Garoppolo, they got to really, really close. So we'll see next year. So tonight we are going to once again prepare a Super Bowl treat. So I wanted to give you all some options for healthier, vegan, plant-based Super Bowl food. And so a few weeks ago, we did the fish tacos with the banana blossoms. Then we did dips, sticks, and chips. And our two dips were the buffalo chickpea dip that was delicious. And then we just did a traditional guacamole. That was second. We served that with celery sticks, carrot sticks, and some blue corn tortillas chips. And this week, we are doing our spin on pigs in a blanket. But we're not eating pigs, obviously. So we're doing sausages and carrots in a blanket. And you may say, carrots? Well, if you remember, and if you've been with us, if you've been rocking with us for some time now, you know that we made tacos one time with carrots. And it's really not that difficult. Actually, this is probably one of the easiest recipes you will replicate. So I definitely want to see pictures of this on Facebook and on Instagram. Tag me, tag the Reclamation Project. I would love to see what you all come up with. So tonight we are doing carrots. And I purchased these baby carrots. Oops, something already fell over. I purchased these baby carrots. We typically have these laying around, right? Especially if you have kids, you have baby carrots. So we've got about a small package of carrots. Now, this is the kind of thing I'm telling you, they're going to go really quick. So you might want to even buy a larger bag. But just for the demo tonight, I bought a small bag. I also have these delicious plant-based breakfast sausage. This is one of my favorite brands, Field Roast. And this is a apple and maple plant-based breakfast sausage. They're the perfect size for this little treat. Similar, just a little bigger than the Vienna sausage, if you remember Vienna sausages back in the day. So what I'm going to do is some of them are going to be with this and some are going to be with the carrots. We also are using crescent rolls. Now, what may surprise you is that Pillsbury crescent rolls are actually vegan. If you buy the original, if you buy the butter, obviously that's not vegan, and there's another one. So make sure you stick to the original and you're good to go. No animal products in this. And if you're saying, crescent rolls, yes, but I really don't want to do Pillsbury. I want to do something a little more organic, a little healthier. Then you can always do immaculate organic crescent rolls. They're pretty comparable in price. I bought this at Sprouts, and this you can buy at any store. You know, the Pillsbury you can buy anywhere. But these are more found at healthier stores, farmers market type places. So Whole Foods, Sprouts, and you would also find this, you might find this at like Kroger's or Publix as well, because they've really increased their offerings when it comes to healthier organic fare. So how do we prepare these carrots? The sausages are good to go. We don't have to do anything to these, but what we do have to work on are our carrots. So look at this. There's two ways you can do it. These have been parboiled for 10 minutes. So I just brought water to a boil, dumped these in there, and parboiled them for about 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want them to fall apart, but you want them soft enough that our marinade is going to infuse into it. So that's between 10 to 12 minutes, a rapid boil. Take it out, drain it. Excuse me. That's one way of doing it. Once you have drained it, you're going to put the marinade over it, and you're going to let it sit optimally overnight so you can get all that flavor in there. If you can't do that, one of the shortcuts is to make the marinade and boil this. Bring it to a boil, let it come to a boil, drop it down to a simmer for about 25 minutes. Okay, so that's another way to do it, but it's not going to be as good as if you did it overnight. So I'm going to show you how you do this. So we've got a plastic bag here. Again, these have already been boiled for about 10 minutes. They don't have to cool down. I made mine earlier, so they have cooled down. And I'm just going to drop them in that bag. Okay. I have got some apple cider vinegar. I've got some water. I'm using water instead of vegetable broth. Vegetable broth was listed, but since I'm using soy, I don't want to add any more salt, even though it's low sodium. So we've got water is going to go in there. That's a 1/4 cup. I have got the soy and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. It's going to go in here. I have got some ginger and onion powder. That goes in there. And then some smoked paprika. Now, you can always use liquid smoke. I don't like using liquid smoke because I don't particularly care for the flavor. But you're welcome to. You can put any kind of flavor you want to on this, okay? So now this is in here. And you would simply put this in the refrigerator for at least 24. I think it should be in there for a full day. You could probably do it less, but you really want a seasoned bite when you bite into this. You're going to get the carrot, which is great, but I don't know that you want it to taste like a carrot. You want the nutrition of a carrot, but you want it to have a little bit of different taste. So that's it. This will go into the refrigerator for 24 hours. And then you will simply drain off the marinade, okay? The other way of doing it, you could also, I just had a brain fart. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is you could even bake this in the oven if you wanted to get it like a little brown and crispy. After you would pour off the marinade, put it in a pan, and just let it bake at 375 for about 10-15 minutes, just to give it a little bit of, what will happen is the maple syrup will start to caramelize on the carrot. So if you want to go for that, you could do that as well. But this is pretty much done. After you take it out of this Ziploc bag, 24 hours from now, it's going to be ready to go. Because remember, you've already parboiled it, so it's ready to go. All right? So after 24 hours, we pour this off. Okay, and we're just going to put it back in our bowl. And now we get to the fun part. So we'll use this one. These things are so easy to use. So we're just going to peel off that off, and then we take a spoon, and it tells you exactly where to press it. And we press down, and that pops up. And then our dough is ready to go. By the way, our oven is warming at 375 degrees. So we're just going to unroll this, and you can get 2 or 3 per triangle. I do 2 because I still want them to be substantial, but you could do 3. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how we do this. We're going to pull this apart here, and I use a knife. They're separated already, but I just use a knife to do it a little cleaner. There's 1. You all are able to see me clearly. 2, 3, and 4. And what we're going to do now is just cut these triangles in half. We've got 2 there. We've got 2 here. Move these out the way. Another one. And this is our final triangle. Now, I also mentioned melted plant butter that can be brushed on top of these in place of what we would typically use. It was an egg wash, but you don't even have to use that on here if you don't want to. You can simply use the spray oil that I've shared with you all that I use quite often. Just lightly spray over that. You'll see me do it, and it's going to help the crescent rolls brown up beautifully. So now that we have these separated, I'm going to show you just how simple it is to roll these. So we have a baking sheet that I've lined with parchment paper. Okay. And we are going to have the larger side farthest away from us. And I'm going to take one of my carrots at the end, and we're just going to simply roll it just like so. You see how that ends up looking? And then we just place it on our baking sheet. And we want to do these about 2 to 3 inches apart. They're not going to actually, swell up too much, but we still want to make sure that just in case they're not too close to each other, we want to give them room to spread. And it's literally just that simple. Okay, so now I'm going to do a couple of the sausages. And again, we're just rolling. Put it on the sheet. This is something that if you have a young person who wants to cook and wants to learn how to do things, this is a great task to do with your son or your daughter who's interested in cooking. Because they're really, after you have cut the crescent, there really is no knife involved, so you don't have to worry about safety. And it's pretty much foolproof, but it will give somebody that's curious about the kitchen a lot of confidence. So let's go back to my carrots. And I love to do like half and half, I say that, the carrot is like the ultimate healthy version. But if you want to have a little something else going on, that's where the sausage comes in. And we'll just keep doing this. And as I said, you could separate this into 3, each into 3 instead of 2, but those are a little small for me. I always talk about substantial treats, and so this would be a substantial size. Okay, so there's a total of 8 crescent rolls in each, but because we're cutting them in half, we're getting 16. If you did it in thirds, you would get 24. If you're having a big crowd, I don't think there's anything wrong with preparing like 48 of these. These will go very, very quickly. And because they're so easy to make, you can literally pop these in the oven, and when people come out, they can go straight out. They're delicious warm. Okay, so we're just cutting these up again. And our last one. I don't know if anybody's asking any questions. My head has been down pretty much. All right, and let's get our last. We have 2 more of our sausage. There we go. You remember, you're going to start with the larger end away from you and then just roll it forward and try to keep it centered, because it really looks beautiful at the end when you do it like that. It's like the perfect wrap. Do a few more of these carrots. But like I was saying earlier, you can season these carrots all kinds of ways. If you want to do like a Cajun flavor, you could add, some red pepper in it. You can use some Tony Cachere's. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can take your flavor anywhere you want to. That's the great thing about the carrot, because it's hearty enough to withstand the few minutes of boiling and then being marinated overnight. It's not going to fall apart. See how easy these are? Super easy. Now you can also do these in like phyllo dough. It's a little more complicated, but it's really delicious. It's a little difficult to also find vegan phyllo, but that's one way you can do it as well. Puff pastry is another way you can do it. All right, so here we go. This is our finished lineup. One of the things you can do, I know everything bagel seasoning is a huge, people love that. So that's something that you could put on top. I have made my own little mixture of sesame seeds and poppy seeds, and I'm just gonna put them on top here. Just gonna add a little crunch. I'm just gonna do it on the carrot ones. And I don't think you would mix these two up, but just in case, you could always tell people, oh, the carrots are the ones with the seeds on top. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, you can either do the plant butter, you would melt it and then just brush it lightly, or you can do this. Just take some of your spray and just go over it lightly like that. And we're gonna pop this in the oven at 375 degrees for about 12 minutes. I would suggest that you turn your light on and you watch these, because depending on the strength of your oven, it may need a little longer, it may need less, okay? So I'll be right back. Okay, and so now we're going to get to our dip. Well, coincidentally, our dip for this evening is going to feature an off-cave seasoning, which is our quarantine curry. I love curry. I grew up curry. My husband jokes and says I probably had curry in my bottle growing up. My mother's from the Caribbean, the West Indies, and it's like, that's what we do. So I have some veggies here. This is about 1/4 cup. I'm going to use, not the whole thing, probably 1/8 cup. Okay, I'm going to use my curry. Just sprinkle a little bit in here, depending on how curry-ish you like your flavor. And I'm just going to mix it. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water to thin it out. But it's just that simple. You could always add a little more heat in here with red pepper flakes. This is on the side, so, if somebody doesn't want heat, they don't have to have it. I'm going to add a little more. That's probably a total of 2 teaspoons. Okay, I'm just going to add just a touch of water. That's probably let's say half a tablespoon. Now you can do a honey mustard dip if you wanted to. There are all kinds of things you can do. You could just simply serve it with ketchup. I've had ketchups that are actually sweetened with carrot. So you don't have to use your traditional Heinz or anything like that. You can use something different. And that's nice and smooth. Okay. And I'm going to put that in this little dish right here. That's going to go right with our sausage and carrots in a blanket. All right. So, drum roll. When everything has finished baking, hey Shauna, when everything has finished baking, this is what it's going to look like. So we have our carrot in the front, and then we have our sausage. And again, this is best straight out the oven. I'm going to taste test this for you. Let's see, let's do our carrot first. That's delicious. And what I like about this is it still has a little crunch to it. Not too much, but just enough. This is yummy. Very, very good. I'm going to finish this because I want to try. Well, let me just put this aside. And I'm going to try one of the sausage. Oh, and by the way, these field roast packages, there are 12 sausages that come in here. So that's a good amount. If you bought 2 of these and 1 small bag of baby carrots, you're good. You've got plenty. Right now I'm going to try my sausage. Folks, this is delicious. And let me tell you, you need the quarantine curry from Afkave. And those of you who've been to my page know that this month, for Black History Month, it's buy one, get one free. This is so good. I made some earlier, but I didn't make the dip to go with it. The dip really takes it to the next level. So, these are lovely. You put them on a platter. You can put some green on it if you want to, some parsley to make the plate pretty. Sometimes men don't care about that if you're cooking for men. But I would do it anyway. Fresh out the oven. These will go so quickly, I promise. So, we have field roast apple sausage and marinated carrots wrapped in crescent dough, baked at 375 for about 12, 13 minutes. And we've got this yummy curry dip featuring Afkave quarantine curry. I'm hungry and greedy tonight. Sorry, I don't usually eat with you guys, but this is good. So, I'm challenging my viewers to make this for Super Bowl Sunday. Make this. Very, very simple marinade. We had a little bit of soy. We had apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, garlic powder, smoked paprika. You can throw some liquid smoke in there if you want to. Parboil your baby carrots for about 10 minutes. Take them out, put them in a bag, a Ziploc bag, pour this stuff over it, let it sit overnight. The next day, you take it out, just pour off that marinade and roll this bad boy up, put it in the oven, and you're ready to go. Super simple. So what do we have again? You have no excuse not to have delicious plant-based fare for your Super Bowl party. We've got our banana blossom tacos. We've got our buffalo chickpea dip. We've got guacamole with our celery and carrot sticks, our blue corn tortilla chips, and we've got these. That's plenty. So that was a quick one tonight. Oh wow, time's almost up. So that's it, folks. Thank you for joining me. I will not be here next week because it is Valentine's, but you won't know that. We'll have a reboot. But thank you so much for joining. And thank you for all of you who have supported Afkave and my spices. They're delicious. They are going to take your food, your dishes to a next level. And I appreciate your support. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.